Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from Blackfield. It is titled Blackfield V. Now Blackfield are a collaboration project between Aviv Geffen and Steven Wilson, who you would know from Porcupine Tree and his solo material most notably, and going off the name, this is their fifth studio record. Steven Wilson is finally back fully in on a Blackfield record, and that just drove the anticipation for this record straight through the roof for me because I'm a massive fan of Steven Wilson. And Alan Parsons also produced 3 songs on this record, so that's another exciting element. This is a brilliant record with a whole lot of interesting and engaging sounds and mixing pop and progressive rock in the best way possible. So let's get into it. This record opens up with an orchestral introduction called A Drop in the Ocean. It's a perfect way to open up this record, really sets the mood. It really feels like this track is saying, okay, sit down and get ready for what's to come. Then in comes Family Man, which is led by Steven Wilson on vocals, and this song is really, for Porcupine Tree fans out there, the closest you are going to get to a new Porcupine Tree song. The vocals have a great distorted effect to them which works really well within the context of the song. As well as that, the raw drum sound that drives this song along sounds great. And there's also this recurring guitar part that goes on throughout the entire track which works perfectly, drives the song really well. And the chorus is simple yet incredibly effective. Steven Wilson really knows how to write a brilliant hook. How Was Your Ride then opens up with a great piano part and Steven Wilson coming in with another great melody. There's also some subtle strings in there as well that kind of fade in and out and they sound great. And I really love how piano drives this song along. It's always great to hear Steven Wilson singing alongside a piano. It always sounds great. And the addition of acoustic guitar into the chorus just adds so much to that section and makes it sound massive. And the signature Steven Wilson backing vocals are all the way throughout this track. It's a thing that he does on every one of his projects and it's something that I adore. There's also a great guitar solo in this track which is simple but within the context of the song works so well. We'll Never Be Apart is then next up on the record and it's the first track to be led by Aviv. I really love the acoustic guitar in this track. It's a great backing to Aviv's voice and they just both work together so well. And this is a much more pop driven song which is a nice change of pace to what we've heard from the beginning of this record so far. And I also love the really subtle heavy guitars that are right in the background of this song. It's not something you're going to hear on first listen, but as you listen more closely you'll hear them there. Works really well, really elevates the sections, adds a lot for the listener. And there's also a great key change in the song which works so well and is executed perfectly. One of the things I love most about this record is the contrast between the Steven Wilson led songs and the Aviv led songs. Each song that is led by a different person is unique to that person, but at the same time the record flows perfectly. Sorries is another acoustic led track by Aviv and it is another great song. There's also these Steven Wilson inspired backing vocals all the way throughout this track, especially in the chorus. They work so well and make the chorus a lot more effective. There's also some great strings that surround this track and they work so well. The acoustic playing all the way throughout this track is absolutely great. The things that he chooses to play sound beautiful. Life is an Ocean is another piano-led track and this time it's got both Steven and Aviv on vocals and it's a more softer leaning track with a lot of cool textures. There's a great vocal effect that's going on throughout this entire song and it works so well, adds a lot to the song's tone. The song is purely piano driven for the majority of this track and then comes in with this massive band section which just comes out of nowhere and works so well. It really grabs you. And the massive chorus to close out this song is so great and is a highlight of the entire record. Lately is next up and is again acoustic driven, but this time with Steven on lead vocals. It's a much more up-tempo track with the addition of these great heavy guitars which work really well. The chorus on this track is also one of the best on the entire record and there's this great lead guitar part which closes out each chorus. It sounds awesome. And this is the first edition of a female vocalist that we hear on this record. Sounds great, it works perfectly even though it comes out of nowhere. October is a ballad led by Steven Wilson and is just basically him and a piano. It's great to hear just Wilson singing with a piano and I think his voice is one of the most underrated in rock music in general, and it's just great to see it highlighted on this track. The track is full of heart and emotion and the lyrics really hit home. As well as that, the delivery is done with great conviction. This song is truly one of the highlights on the entire record, and every time it comes on, you just have to stop what you're doing and just listen. The production on this record is done perfectly. Everything sounds natural and like a band just doing what they do best. The vocals sound crisp and clean while still allowing all that emotion from the delivery to come through and make an impact. The Jackal opens up with a great guitar riff, but for me, unfortunately, it's one of the weakest on the record. For me, it doesn't really fit within the context of this record and feels more like an Aviv solo track. The vocal melody doesn't really work for me, it just doesn't really connect. It kind of sounds off in some weird way. However, the outro for this song really saves it, and it's the perfect way to close out the track. And there's also a great guitar solo in this song, which sounds massive. Salt Water then opens up with a great acoustic guitar part and a great lead guitar part accompanying it, and it's a really, really great instrumental track. As I said, this track is fully instrumental, and it's really used as an interlude before getting into the last few songs on this record. The highlight of this track is just the interesting lead guitar that goes all the way throughout this track. It's really, really intriguing. Undercover Heart is next up, and it is led by Aviv once again, and it's a more groovy track than some of Aviv's other songs, and it's one that I really love. The chorus on this track is one of the biggest on the entire record, and there's some lead guitar throughout it that just sounds great. This is one of the best songs for Aviv on this entire record and really shows off his skill as a vocalist. And we get that female voice back in this record, this time as backing vocals. However, it works so well, really elevates the chorus. Both Steven and Aviv's effort instrumentally on this record is just incredible. There's so many subtle elements all the way throughout every single song, and hearing just those little things that make an impact just show off what great songwriters these two are. Lonely Soul is another great song, which feels a lot more brooding and has a bit of a jazz influence in there. And it's led by purely this female vocalist who sounds absolutely incredible. And the bass comes to the forefront of this song and really drives this track along, while the drums play more of a percussive role. The song is simple, but it doesn't feel monotonous. Every section feels like it needs to be there, and it's pulled off perfectly. Finally, from 44 to 48 closes out this record and is a softer Steven Wilson led track which recaps someone's life. The key to this song is truly in its lyrics. It's really a complete story, and you are really hanging on to what he's talking about, and you really want to know what he's going to say next. There's also some really cool textures that surround this track all the way throughout it, and it adds a lot to this song's atmosphere. It's the perfect track to close out this great record. Overall, this is a brilliant record from Blackfield, filled with absolutely great songwriting, great vocal performances as well as just a brilliant instrumental backing. This is a record that blends pop and prog perfectly together, and it's going to appeal to a lot of people. My top 3 tracks are going to be Family Man, October, and From 44 to 48, and I'm going to give this record a 4.5 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We could have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and love how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.